What's up? Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of my podcast, the Sasha Davis Podcast. It still sounds weird saying my name, but whatever. So today I want to talk about how we feel about certain words and how that can manifest into our reality. For example, and I'll get into this a little bit more in a minute. For those of you who've been following me a while, you know I'm like balls deep into like law of attraction and like manifesting and like your thoughts become your reality and things of this nature. And I still don't think that people grasp the concept of manifestation and resistance and knowing when to like lean into fear or when to like shy away and things like that, kind of like navigating that pattern. And so this is where it is crucial that you connect with your inner guide, your inner spirit, your intuition, whatever you want to call it, that being inside of you that says like, oh, this isn't a good idea, or yes, this is a good idea, but I'm scared shitless and I don't know how it's going to happen. Those things, that little, not the voice inside your head, because the voice inside your head is something totally different. I'm going to call that your monkey mind. That's the thing that's like, man, this is hard. Life sucks. We don't have enough money. Nobody cares about me. That's a monkey mind. That's just bullshit stories that you're telling yourself. That's not true. That's not real. That's like a toddler having a tantrum that's like, wah, somebody pay attention to me, okay? Your inner being is that like guide, that wise navigation system, the one that says, don't go down this creepy dark alley because something bad might happen. Or, man, you should really join this coaching program because your heart is like pulling you in that direction. Or you should really start that business because that is what just really lights you up. Okay, that's your inner being, that thing that just kind of like knows what to do next or like knows the right answer. That's your inner being. And so when you connect with that and use that as your guidance system, because that's exactly what it is. Think of your inner being as a compass, okay? And you're just like wandering around this planet. Which direction do I go? Which direction do I go? Shut up and look at your compass. Shut up and look at your inner being, your inner guide, and it will literally tell you what you need to do next. And then your monkey mind is like a toddler that's like, no, Mom, shiny object over here. Let's go over here. Oh, nope, let's go over here. Oh, well, I don't have the right dress on. We can't go. Blah, blah, blah. Or I want to go and I don't want to go and I want juice. No, I want water. If you have children, you know what I mean. Just this morning, my daughter's like, I want to wear this dress. No, not this dress. I'm like, you are my child. What do you do? So when you connect with that inner being, that inner guide, it will literally tell you what you need to do, okay? But we have a hard time listening to that because we have conditioned ourselves to turn it off based on our belief system around particular topics. So for example, I'm going to list off some words, okay? In your mind is going to create stories around these words. Okay, are you ready for this? This might be one that you want to listen to and re-listen to and do like a little journal prompt for this one. And I am driving through Stone Park at the moment, so my blinker's on. All right, here we go. Hands free, guys. Hands free. I have my best thoughts in the car. So I'm going to say some words. Are you ready for them? Can you guess what the first word's going to be? Money. First word is money. I want you to write down every story that you're telling yourself right now around money. And I'm saying story because it's not true. These stories are not true. Whatever you tell yourself that doesn't feel good is not true. And you can Byron Katie this. Look her up. Basically, all of your thoughts are bullshit. I don't know how else to put it. Byron Katie is like phenomenal. And it's reversing your mindset into better feeling thoughts, but also creating that emotional freedom side of things. So when you think of money, what do you think of? What are your dominant thoughts? And I did a poll on Instagram a few weeks ago, and literally there was like one person that had a positive comment about money. And you know what they said? They said money is energy. which is 1000% true. But we all put money up on this big, like, powerful pedestal. And yes, I get it. Like, cash is king and like money makes the world go round. But I'm telling you, you're never going to have more of it if you don't change how you believe or think about money. I'm talking to so many of you because we are doing a retreat, and I'll get to that in a second. Anyway, so what do you think about money? What are your thoughts about money? What are your thoughts about marriage? What are your thoughts about health? What are your thoughts about happiness? What are your thoughts about parenting? What are your thoughts about business? These are just a few topics that people have a lot of fear around. Fear of failure, or fear of not being able to do it right, or just fear in general because they don't know enough, or their fear of that somebody's going to say that they're not doing it right, or that they're being judged. Like, we're so worried about what other people think, but yet we want to make more money. We want to have businesses. We want to be a better parent. We want to have a great relationship. We want to travel. We want to do these things, yet we fear these things and we have negative beliefs around them. So tell me one example in your life, something that you've wanted that you had a negative belief around. How often do you get that thing? Probably not very often, okay? And so you have to change the way you think about these things. If you want a great marriage, you're going to have to start thinking differently about marriage. If your dominant thoughts are, oh, I never connect with my spouse, or I just waiting for the day that he's going to serve me with the divorce papers, or we never make time for each other, or we never have sex, or we never talk, or we never do these things. Change it. Fix it. If you don't put the amount of effort and start to change your thoughts and your beliefs and your actions around marriage, your marriage probably will not last very long. Okay? And don't go saying, well, he doesn't do this or he doesn't do that. You are responsible for you. Okay? And this is where you need to set boundaries and action steps and let the rest go. And if you want help, I know that there's tons of marriage counselors out there, and they may say different things, but there's marriage coaches out there too that will help you guys connect on a deeper level. Just the other day, I was having a conversation with my husband, and I was like, hey, other husbands said this thing in my group that I'm in. Like, what do you think about it? And he's like, yep, that's a thing. That's a guy thing. And I'm like, wow, I guess I never realized that. So I would have never known that had I not had that conversation about it. And I don't want you to place like a ton of like expectations on your husband, because then that's creating resistance. So think about it. Like, how many times has your husband or your spouse or your partner been like, stop nagging at me, and it just takes them even longer to do something? Yes. So it's the same thing. Like, if you're constantly like thinking negative things, or want this to happen or want that to happen, and you're putting effort and pressure and all of these things on something, you're going to push it farther away. You have to have like a neutral or a positive belief that it's going to happen. Otherwise, it will not happen. Okay. And so this is how manifestation works. So for example, if you want more money in your life, but you're like, I hate money, I'm scared of money, money is evil, you are never going to have more money. I'm just going to say it like it is. You will never have more money because your dominant thoughts are lack. Let me repeat that. Your dominant thoughts are lack. I want more money because I don't have enough. I want more money because my bank account is dwindling. The feeling behind it is not positive momentum. Okay, so I listen to a lot of Abraham Hicks, and one of the analogies that they give is upstream or downstream. Is your thought upstream or downstream? And this is everything in your life. I say it all the time. Like, you can be 1% better and you can be 1% worse. Like, no matter what you do each day, even if you don't take an action, that's an action. Like, choosing not to take an action is still an action. The world still goes around and you are still in it. So there is momentum there. Either it's forward or it's backwards. And so think about your thoughts and ask yourself, is this an upstream thought or is this a downstream thought? Okay, so let's try it again. I'm going to talk to you about money. I never have enough money. Does that seem like an upstream thought? Are you swimming upstream, or is that a downstream thought? That sounds like an upstream thought to me. That sounds like a lot of effort, a lot of work, and that doesn't feel good. You're going to be exhausted, you're going to be tired, and you're going to give up. right? What if you said, money is all around me and I'm learning ways to attract more into my life? It's a downstream thought. I'm going to go downstream with that one. That one was easy. That one felt good. Do you see what I mean here? Money. I'm so tired of getting overdraft fees in my bank account. Upstream. But I'm glad that I'm aware that I have those now so I can make goals in the future to avoid that. Downstream. Upstream. I wish I could go, but I'm just broke. Now's not the right time. Upstream. Downstream. Well, I bet I could make more money if I really set my mind to it. I haven't had a budget in a while. Maybe if I budgeted or sold some things that I didn't need or created a business or a service to help other people to attract more money into my life, I could probably do more of my goals. Downstream. Do you see what I mean here? There's a different energy behind those statements, right? Like one feels very like, oh, hopeless, I'm never going to get out of these things. And the other feels hopeful, right? Like, okay, well, that one felt a little bit better. Maybe there is progress here. Maybe change can happen. And so that's the whole premise of like choosing better feeling thoughts and feeling what your dominant thoughts are. And then before you know it, you'll have so much momentum built behind the positive attributes and the positive thoughts and the positive things that you're saying that those thoughts will become actions, and those actions will manifest into your reality, and your reality will change. Before you know it, you'll start to call in more money, right? Like think of, and I know I've said this on previous podcasts, and I'm just going to say it again, because if you want something bad enough, you will find a way to make it happen. Show up for yourself. Stop letting your excuses win all the time. You guys have so many excuses. I have so many excuses. And I don't mean to like point the finger, but I'm going to point the finger. I'm going to call you out right now because I see it all the time. And I'm like, man, if you could just see your potential, if you could just shut up long enough to see all of the potential that's right here at your fingertips in front of you, you could do amazing, incredible things. It would blow your mind, the things that you could do for yourself. But you are limited by your excuses, by your current beliefs. And if that doesn't feel good, choose a better feeling thought. Choose a better feeling thought. It is a choice to choose a better feeling thought. It is a choice to ask for help. It is a choice to show up for yourself. It is a choice to take care of yourself. Sometimes I know it's hard. Sometimes I know it's really hard. And if you're one of those people that's like, well, I'm an addict, or I'm this, or I'm that, ask for help. Ask for help. I've been learning about these things, and nobody can do it by themselves. Nobody can, but we have this thing in our brain where we're like, oh, I have to do it by myself. I have to suffer alone. I have to do all these things by myself. No, you don't. No, you don't. You do not have to do these things by yourself. You can ask for help. Get a support team that's going to be there for you, okay? And I know a lot of times, like, and even this happens with me. Like, I've always felt like I can't rely on other people because nobody's ever, like, pulled through for me. You know, I always put my expectations in somebody to help me, and then they, like, kind of go, and they don't actually help me, right? So this is where you have to find your support team. You have to create your support team. And if the people around you right now are not supporting you, then I'm telling you, you need to find different people. You need to find different people. You need to go out there and find your people. Listen to podcasts, read books, check out people on Instagram. Look up to the people that you follow that you're like, man, these people make me feel really good. And go figure out how to be a part of that. Figure it out. You might have to throw some dollar bills, you know? Put your money where your mouth is. How many times have you heard that? People say it to me all the time, and I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. All right. I'll put my money where my mouth is. And I show up. Just the other day, I had somebody like message me, and she's like, man, I just wish I could be you. Like, you just do all these things. And I was like, whoa. No. You need to be you, and you have as much capability, if not more, than I do. I just show up, and like, I'm still scared. Like, even like this podcast right now, I'm like, what are people going to think? I'm over it. I don't care. I mean, I do care, but I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, other people's feelings or thoughts about me, while they have a little bit of effect, I don't let them affect like my long-term goals. I'm like, sweet, who did I piss off today? And I've said this so many times, you guys, especially like with my personal coaching clients. I'm like, well, if I didn't piss somebody off today, then I'm not doing my job. Because I am. Like, I'm just out there and I'm doing my thing, and some people love it and some people don't. And I have to be okay with that. And it sucks because I can be a people pleaser. But I want to choose the best feeling thought. I want to choose what's best for myself, because when I can show up as my best self, guess what? It gives everybody else around me permission to do the same thing. Okay? If I was sitting here and on this podcast going, life sucks, everybody feels sorry for me, da, 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 da. And not that like life doesn't suck sometimes. Like, let's be real. There can be dark times, but not swallowing yourself in those dark times, right? Recognize it, but move through it. Use it as a learning experience. And if it doesn't sit well, like use that anger, that hatred as a fire under your ass for change. And I don't know why this is, but people don't change until the pain becomes great enough. Let me repeat that. People don't change until the pain becomes great enough. I've never talked to somebody who has been like, oh, well, I'm just content, but I want a little bit of change. Nope, you're not going to do the work. You have to want change. You have to have a fire under your ass to make change happen. And I guess I'm just like, and one of my friends posted it, she's like, I'm done. I'm just done. And I'm like, yes, like I've been done for so long. Like, show up for yourself. Don't say you're going to do something and then not do it. Like, don't sit there and say all this bullshit or now I'm getting off on a rant, but show up for yourself. If you want something, you will find a way to make it happen. You will find a way to make it happen. Get an accountability partner. Get an accountability team. Hire a coach and watch them kick your ass in a good way. Watch them blow your mind. I feel like there's not enough mentorship in the world right now. You know, I talk to people in their, 60s, 70s, and 80s, or even like these millionaires out there, and they all have mentors, and I feel like there's not a lot of that like there used to be. Like there used to be like, oh, go sit at grandma's table and grandma will tell you all the things to do and not to do, and she'll slap your hands for this or tell you not to date that boy, da 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 da. The system has changed. Now we have coaches, right? And so you hire your support. We don't have the support in our immediate family, due to like technology and there's just a lot of factors that happen to it. But everybody needs a mentor. Everybody needs a safe space where they can go and say things and have support and also have their ass handed to them and show up for themselves. I know a lot of times it's scary because we're like, I don't want to burden my family, or I don't want to tell my family this, or I don't want to tell my family that, but I have these beliefs around money or marriage or jobs or whatever it is, and I don't have anybody to go to. You need to hire somebody. You need to hire somebody. I don't know how else to say it. That's what I did, and that's what you probably need to do. Or you need to go to some sort of like group support, or get a counselor, or get a therapist. But you need support. Nobody can do this alone. I'm going to repeat that. Nobody can do this alone. And if you have that belief, then you're just digging yourself a hole. Stop. Get out of your own way. This was a wise, I don't even know if it was a quote, but you guys have been following me for a while. I work with Heather Chauvin, and she kicks my ass quite a bit in terms of just, life and business. And she makes me show up for myself. I have another spiritual life coach. She makes me show up for myself. I have lots of support in my life that help me show up for myself. They don't take the action for me, but they hold me accountable. They hold, my, what do they say? The foot to the fire? Is that another thing people say? So you can do this and sit down, journal about those 5 beliefs or those 5 topics and see what your beliefs are around them. And if they don't feel good, change them. There's a ton of resources that I gave you here. You can start looking into Abraham Hicks. They have a podcast. They have YouTube videos. They are completely free. Like, money is not an excuse. There's a million coaches out there. There's a ton of coaches out there who would be willing to help you. I'm willing to help you. Actually, I just opened up my coaching application, so you can head on over to sashadavis.com/apply now if working with me is something that you're interested in, and we can chat about it. There's lots of support out there for whatever it is that you need, whether it's life, business, money, marriage, addictions, all of the above. There is support out there, and you don't have to do it alone. Okay? That's all I got for you today. Sorry, this was just like a bunch of random thoughts into like a half-hour long podcast. So there you be. Have a kick-ass day. If you need help, you know where to find me. Talk soon.